Welcome, my name is Gabby Coletta, and I'm thrilled to share practice with you from one of my favorite places just outside Red Rock, Las Vegas. And today's practice is a vinyasa, an energetic vinyasa that is wrist friendly. So if you're working through any wrist injuries or sensitivities, this can be a really nice way to move, hopefully without too much pressure on the wrists, and still kind of get to feel the different parts of your body that are present and here while giving care to our wrists. Uh, I find that when there is something that is weighing me down mentally, when I feel kind of frustrated, especially when I have body injuries, things like that, it can be easy to start to spiral into sort of these negative thought loops and wish something was different. And I find that there's a yoga sutra that is really relevant for this kind of practice when we're stuck in a certain cycle of thought. And it's the sutra that speaks to pratipaksha bhavana. And what this essentially means is that when your mind is in this place of doubt or in negativity or in that sort of parasitic spiraling thought, can we cultivate the opposite? And what this practice is really about is not so much denying whatever we're exactly feeling. In fact, it's not denying that. Whatever is here and it's true and it's part of you. But it's not all of you. And part of pratipaksha bhavana is recognizing that we have the power to cultivate the opposite, to generate this balance, right? That we can flow between the two dualities and actually shift our mindset and therefore our reality. So, without further ado, let this be a practice of some wrist love and cultivating the opposite. We'll start in an easy cross-legged seat. If you like supported practice, I would say 2 blocks and a strap might be very helpful. Otherwise, let's begin. Find your comfortable seat. If you're finding a little tension in the hip creases, maybe prop yourself up a little higher or put the bricks underneath your knees. Let your sits bones anchor, settle in. And then from that settling in, find length in the spine, the heart to lift, collarbones broaden, the shoulders soften down the back. Soften the eyes or close the eyes, let your awareness turn inward. And take a few transition breaths to transition from your day to your practice. Draw in a big inhale through the nose if possible, and perhaps sigh it out the mouth, letting the jaw soften, the muscles soften, sits bones settle. And 2 more just like that. Inhale full. Keep the length in the spine as you inhale. And let the exhale clear out. Once more. Inhale full. Exhale empty. Start to deepen the breath in and out through the nose if possible. Perhaps cultivating a little ujjayi breath, this victorious breath. So it's a constriction in the back of the throat, almost like you're fogging up a mirror, just creating this internal heat. See if you can even the breath out, lengthen it. So even here, we already have this ability to flow between opposites, between the inhale and the exhale. Perhaps even recognizing the space between and the pause. Drop your right ear to the right shoulder, melt the chin towards the chest, over to the opposite shoulder, and just a couple neck rolls side to side here. Feel free to move as slow as you wish. And as we move through this practice, let everything be an offering and invitation. So if your body is desiring something else, feel free to shift the pace or add in your own flavor. And come back to center, chin parallel to earth. Ground the fingertips down on the earth. Let the crown of the head lift up. On your next inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Grow nice and tall. Side body nice and long. Palms come to touch. And then hands to heart center. Interlace the hands, press the palms forward, round the back so you pull shoulder blades apart. Then press the palms back to the sky. Grow tall, heart lifts, but the belly tones in. Twice more, seated cat-cow. Round forward, pull shoulder blades apart. Inhale back to sky, lift the heart, tone the low belly in. And once more, round forward. Inhale, arms up. Crescent up and over to your right, little side stretch here. So we're getting some opening in the wrists, forearms, as well as the side body. Inhale back to center, take it up and over, other side. And back to center, release the hands, start to spiral the wrists slowly or not. Bring the hands down, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Once you get about halfway, spiral them the other way. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, grow nice and tall. As you exhale, twist to your right, left hand to right knee, right hand anchors behind you, maybe a block. As you inhale, get nice and tall. As you exhale, start to twist. See if you can soften the shoulders down the back. And as long as there's no neck pain, you might stretch your neck to look over your right shoulder and even stretch your gaze all the way to the right corner of the eye. Keep your left hand where it is. Inhale your right arm up and over to crescent to side stretch. Spiral the heart to the sky, the top pinky finger down, and take a big inhale here, opening top ribs. As you exhale, release the hand to the opposite knee, round the back. Keep the cross of the arms, lift up, and either find eagle arms or a bear hug. I'm realizing I can't do this with the mic without getting scratchy sounds, but it kind of looks like this. Inhale, elbows up, and then exhale, round in. We'll pulse twice more like that. Inhale up, and round in, opening back of heart. Once more. And up. Come back to center, neutral spine, unravel, reach the arms to the sky, get tall again. Then let's take that the other way. So twist your opposite direction, right hand to left knee, left hand anchors behind you. Take a couple breaths to deepen the twist first. Notice if you're rocking a little bit back, and if you are, can you stack the shoulders over the hips? Every inhale, long spine. Every exhale, ring it out, twist, soften shoulders down back. See if you can look over the left shoulder, even into the left corner of the eye, little eye stretch too. Keep your right hand where it is. Inhale your left arm up and over to crescent to side stretch. Roll the top shoulder back, get long in the top side body, left side body. And then exhale, hand to opposite knee, round. Keep the cross of the arms, but find either your bear hug or your eagle arms. And then pulse these eagle cat-cows. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, round. Twice more. Last one. And come back to neutral, unravel, reach the arms up to the sky once more. And then fan the arms down. Let's meet in table pose just for a few moments. Shoulders stack over wrists and really spread the hands here, shoulders over wrists. If this is already a little much on the wrists, feel free to come down to forearms where we'll meet in just a couple breaths. Otherwise, spread the hands, press the fingertips down, press the L of the hands. The whole circumference of the palm, can you press into the earth and then draw the center of the palm up like it's a suction cup? And that will just help strengthen the wrists. Maybe a few cat-cows here or sahaja, any freedom movement, wiggle the hips, side barrel, the rib cage. The next few breaths are yours. And then we'll all go ahead and meet on our forearms, shoulders stacked over elbows, forearms parallel to one another, spread the hands. And we'll find something called protraction. So it's kind of puffing up the space behind the heart and then releasing. A couple times, just sort of warming up, upper back. It's like the shoulder blades are fanning apart and softening, puffing up space behind heart and softening. Once more. Then from here, stop, walk your knees back, make your way into Sphinx pose. You might have to inch your elbows forward a bit so the shoulders are still right over the elbows. Press the tops of the feet down, the pelvic bone into the earth, and then draw the heart through the window of the arms. Tone the low belly in. You want a little more for the neck, perhaps look right, then left a couple times. And back to center. And release. See if you can use the support of your hands, press the fingertips down, come back up to all fours, and then tuck the toes. We'll meet in yogi toe stretch. So toes tucked, drape your torso up so the shoulders are over the hips. Maybe even make sure the pinky toe is getting some love on the earth. This will just help support our sense of grounding, stability, especially when we start to work into our standing balance. Then you can take the hands together, keep pinky finger and thumbs together, but then open up into lotus mudra. And just a beautiful reminder, metaphor of the lotus, it grows out of the mud. There's a sense of resilience and perseverance. So if you are finding any moments in your asana that feel challenging, whether it's body movement or thought patterns, perhaps cultivating this energy of the lotus, of coming out of the thickness into something beautiful. We can come back to that. Notice if there's resistance being in this pose, and honor ahimsa in the body if you need to come out for the toes. Couple lotus wrist circles here, backs of hands, heels of hands, come to touch and spiral. A few times forward and back. If you haven't switched directions, switch directions. Then plant the hands, untuck the toes, give them a little tap. Then tuck the toes again, and we're just gonna roll over onto the toes. Find a forward fold. Separate your feet generously apart, like hips width or wider. Drape the torso over the thighs, deep bend in the knees, let the head be heavy. First one here. Doesn't matter where you are on the mat, we'll eventually move up to the top. Arms can be heavy too, palms face up in this lunar kind of receiving gesture. You can grab opposite elbows, do a gentle sway side to side. If you're craving a little heart opening, you can interlace the hands behind the back and let the knuckles fall forward. Shoulders peel away from ears. Take one more breath here. And then release. Release the hands. Feet parallel. Toe heel the feet in a little bit. Press the four corners of the feet down and then slowly start to roll yourself up. As you roll yourself up, find Tadasana wherever you are. And then really mindfully, just footprint by footprint, walk yourself all the way to the top of the mat. Just feeling the texture of the mat underneath each foot. And pause here. We'll begin with half sun salutations. Option for your feet to be hips width apart or toe heel the feet in, big toes come to touch. Get long in the spine, tone the thighs up, lengthen the tailbone down, let the crown of the head lift up. On your next inhale, reach the arms to the sky, grow nice and tall, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive forward. Little bend in the knees as you tone the thighs up, bow inward. Find your half lift, long spine, draw the shoulders down the back. Exhale, fold even deeper, ribs to thighs, forehead to shins. Reverse swan dive, press to the feet, gather up your presence, your energy, reach to the sky, palms come to touch. Hands to heart center, samastitihi. Twice more, breath and body just starting to move together, warm up the body, reach up to the sky, grow tall, even the side body long. Exhale, bow forward, hinge at the hips all the way down to your fold. Inhale, half lift, weight is in the fronts of the feet, even the low ribs knit in and up. Exhale, fold even deeper, ribs towards thighs, forehead towards shins. Press through the feet, reach the arms out to the side, up overhead, palms come to touch. Hands to heart center, samastitihi. Last one. Inhale, gather up your presence, reach to the sky, grow tall, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, heart leads you down, collarbones broad. Find your half lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. If you want to deepen, press your fingers down and forward, and that might give you a little deeper fold. Reverse swan dive, press the feet, reach all the way up, palms come to touch. Hands to heart center, samastitihi. Separate your feet hips width apart. Sink the hips low, graze the fingertips on the earth, reach the arms up, find Utkatasana, fierce pose. So you're sinking the weight into the heels, find a little lift of the heart, And then draw the low ribs in. Try to bring the biceps up by the ears, if not higher. Relax the shoulders. Take another breath. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale for a half lift, and then plant your left hand directly in front of the face or on a brick. Send your right arm to the sky. Deep bend into the left knee as you straighten the right leg, finding an open arm twist. Arms out in this big wingspan as you soften the shoulders down the back. You can press into your right foot a little bit more, and that might just light up the outer seam of your right leg, stretching the IT band, outer glute. And release, opposite side. Right hand down to the earth or a brick. Left arm sweeps up. Find your twist the opposite way. Make sure both knees are facing forward as you press the left sole of the foot into the earth, and then soften the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe the gaze follows left thumb. Exhale, release. Find your half lift, nice long spine. Exhale, fold. Toe heel your feet as wide as the mat, and then point the toes out, the heels in, sink into malasana, garland pose, yogi squat, sometimes called. Press the elbows into the knees, lift the heart into the thumbs, relax the shoulders down the back. If you're noticing you're starting to dump into the inseam of the feet, take the feet a little wider, activate the arches. Couple breaths. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the tongue. One more. And then release the hands, lift the hips. Start to toe heel the feet in. Find your half lift, nice long spine. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, press the feet, reach all the way up to the sky, palms come to touch. Then hands to heart center. You can keep your feet hips width apart or bring the big toes to touch. On your next inhale, reach the arms up and grab opposite elbows. Press the back of the head into the arms if that works in your anatomy. If not, no worries. Get nice and long. Soften the low ribs in. Take an inhale here, crescent up and over to the right. Side stretch, opening side of heart. Inhale back to center. Up and over, other side. Inhale back to center. Release. Separate your feet hips width apart. Chair pose again. Sink the hips low, graze the fingertips down, reach the arms up. We'll make this dynamic. So as you sink into the heels, get a little longer in the spine. Exhale, fly the arms back, ribs to thighs, Ardha Utkatasana, half fierce pose. Start to ground into your right foot. As you do, steady your gaze in one spot. Find one-legged Tadasana, drawing the left knee in towards chest. Pause here. Try to keep your hips level, outer left hip spiraling down, low ribs in, crown of head up. Stay or find a twist, right hand to left knee, left arm sweeps back, thumb to the sky. Little balance challenge, you might gaze over your left thumb. Inhale back to center, one-legged Tadasana. And then exhale really mindfully, so slowly like you're moving through honey, hinge heart forward, kick your left leg back. We're gonna meet in a warrior or a high lunge. Land the back toes at the back of the mat. You can widen the stance a little bit if this feels a little off balance. Right hip back, left hip forward. Scissor the inner thighs together. And then on your inhale, reach the arms up. Soften the shoulders down the back. Inhale here, exhale, open cactus arms. Take another inhale across the chest, open the heart, maybe a little back bend. And then exhale, close the cactus arms, round the upper back. And do that twice more. Open up, shoulder blade tips come to kiss. Exhale, round. Once more. And round. And go ahead and open. And reach the arms up to the sky. And then spiral the back heel down, open into a star. So toes out to the side, arms nice and wide. Go ahead and loop your back arm underneath your right arm, eagle arms. Sink down into goddess pose. Shins are straight up and down. Tailbone lengthens down slightly. Shoulder stack over hips. Now you're welcome to stay right here for more stability, or on your inhale, lift the elbows. As you exhale, hinge forward so your torso becomes parallel with the earth. Inhale back to sky, or upright. We'll do that twice more. And once more. Come back to your goddess pose if you weren't holding that static. Inhale, exhale, open up warrior two. Big wingspan, front toes face forward, back toes pivot in slightly, and then we find that deep bend into the front knees so the knee is stacked over the ankle. Any tightness in the shoulders here, flip the palms up, let them soften down the back. See if you can keep the hips and the shoulders square to the long edge of the mat, even though the gaze is soft over the right fingers. Press your front knee towards the pinky toe edge. Sink a little deeper, take another breath. Flip the front palm up. Find reverse warrior, reach up and back, and then imagine that you're patting yourself on your back. So first off, think more side bend than back bend, and then take your right hand behind the head, little tricep stretch. Stay or take your opposite arm to the elbow, just helping the tricep get a little more. Keep sinking into the front knee, one more breath. And back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. If you like to shorten your stance for triangle, go for it. Inch the back foot in. Get long in the right side body, tone the thighs up, little micro bend in both knees, and then exhale, right hand down to a brick, the earth. Draw the left shoulder back. Think big wingspan here. Press into the ball mound of the right big toe. And spiral your right hip down and underneath you to the long edge of the mat as you lean your top shoulder back. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Take another big breath here. Full exhale. And then on your inhale, reverse warrior, just one breath to carry it up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, pause here, start to ground into your front foot. Then slide your back foot forward so you come into a cross-legged forward fold. Pinky toes are touching. Little bend into both knees. Get long in the spine first and then exhale, bow forward. And you can stay just as you are. You can shimmy the hips side to side. That can feel quite nice. This can be a nice place for bricks under your hands. If you want a little more in the IT band, then you can widen the stance between your feet, maybe coming onto the knife edge of your feet as you scissor the inner thighs together and lengthen your heart forward. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the tongue, the face. And then slowly come back to your forward fold, uncross the legs. Find a half lift, nice long spine. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, press to the feet, reach all the way up to the sky, palms come to touch. Hands to heart center, samastitihi. Okay, same journey, other side, here we go, but can we release any expectation or anticipation? Separate the feet hips width apart. Sink the hips low, graze the fingertips on the earth, reach up. Imagine you're sitting in a tiny chair. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Sink a little lower, lift the heart a little higher, big inhale. As you exhale, melt the heart towards the ribs, fly the arms back, crown of head reaches forward. Start to ground into your left foot this time. As you do, stand up into one-legged Tadasana, right knee in towards the chest, 90-degree bend. Big inhale here, option to find a twist, left hand to right knee, right arm reaches back, maybe gazing over right finger. Inhale back to center, reach to the sky, get nice and long in both directions. And then exhale, fly the arms back, hinge at the hips. Little bend in your standing leg will help give you some more balance. We'll eventually meet in our high lunge. Land the toes at the back of the mat. Perhaps widen the stance so you're like you're on railroad tracks. And then square the hips forward, scissor the inner thighs together, reach the arms up. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, breathe. Big inhale here as you exhale, cactus the arms. Stay for your inhale, open across the chest, maybe a little back bend, and then exhale, draw the arms closed, elbows towards each other, round the upper back. Twice more, little balance challenge, and just opening up thoracic, the upper spine. Once more. Open back up. Reach to the sky, big inhale. Exhale, open warrior, actually not warrior two, or a nice big star. So toes out again. This time we take our opposite arm under, so that would be our back arm, for our eagle arms, and sit into goddess pose, Devyasana. So in this variation, shoulders over hips, really try to stack the knees over the ankles. Sometimes I might want to bow in, especially if the hips feel tight. You're welcome to hold this static or Bow in, 3 pulses here. And lift. Twice more. Lift the heart. Once more. Spine up right here. Soften shoulders down back, but lift the elbows up to the shoulders. And then open up, warrior 2. Left toes point forward, back toes point in slightly. Hips and shoulders open to the long edge as the front knee goes towards pinky toe. Maybe one day you go deep, so deep down that the front thigh is parallel with the earth. Pause here. Relax the shoulders. Check in that the back arm is in line with the front arm and not drifting one way or the other. Breathe. Flip the front palm up, find reverse warrior, but then bend your top arm at the elbow, little tricep stretch like you're patting yourself on your back. Grab onto your top elbow with the opposite arm. Find a little bit more of a side stretch. Notice if you're caving your heart forward here, can you lean your head back a little bit? Come back to warrior 2. Straighten both legs and then set up for triangle. So maybe that's shortening your stance slightly. Get nice and long in the left side body and keep that length as you hinge down. Left hand can come to a brick. Peace fingers to big toes. If it's to the shin, just make sure it's not pressing into the shin, locking out the knee. We want to keep that suppleness there and then tone the thighs up. Pull the shoulders away from the ears if it serves you. Can you think about pressing into the ball mound of the left big toe, scooping the left hip down and underneath you, and then taking the whole rib cage, rotating it to the sky. Maybe gaze at the top fingers towards the sky. Reverse warrior. Bend into the front leg, lift up and back. Side stretch. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. We'll meet in our cross-legged forward fold as you ground into the front foot and slide your back foot forward so the pinky toe edges touch. You can keep a little micro bend in the knees. Hands can be on bricks or the earth. Nice sciatica release would be shimmying the hips side to side. And you can stay there, or you can take it a little wider, widening the stance, maybe coming in to the knife edge of each foot as you extend the heart forward. Slowly come back if you did that. This time big toes come to touch. Rise onto the tippy toes and then sink the hips towards the heels. We'll find Malasana number 2. Knees nice and wide here, but big toes are touching. Take your arms to a Y and then imagine that you're finding cat pose in the upper back. So you're doming the upper back, tuck the chin. Maybe one day your heels reach the earth. One more breath. Plant the hands, lift the hips, find a half lift. Exhale, fold. Either reverse swan dive or slow roll up, however you want to rise, just follow the intuition of your body. Okay, switching things up a little bit, but same beginning. Separate the feet hips width apart. Sink the hips low, graze the fingertips on the earth, reach the arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, fly the arms back, ribs melt to thighs, Ardha. Ground into your right foot, one-legged Tadasana, bring the left knee into the chest. Open arm twist to the left. You can grab onto the knee, or this time, if the hamstrings feels open, grab onto the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Roll your heart open to the left. Spiral the outer left hip down. Totally okay if there's a bend in the knee. Come back to center if you want a little extra. Keep that left leg extended and floating, but try to keep the spine in one nice line. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Kick the left leg back. And then we'll open right into our star. Skandasana, back leg. Bring the hands to prayer. Bend into your back leg. Knee falls in the same direction as the toes. Right toes come to sky. Any locking out of the knee here, really dig the heel down. Keep a little micro bend in the knee. If you need some more support, hands to bricks or earth. Take it over to your front leg. And you'll just wash it out on the hips side to side. You can also find any of your own creative expression here. If you want to open arm twist, kind of getting a little more into the upper back, please do. If this is a little too much for the knees, you can always come back to what we were going to before goddess pose, but take it into some twists, side to side. About 2 more breaths. 1 more. Staying low to the ground, we'll walk our hands to frame the front foot and lower the back knee down for asana. Untuck the back toes. Squeeze the inner thighs together. You can bring your hands to the thigh or reach the arms up. Little variation in the arms here. Option to take the arms behind you, clasp the hands, press the knuckles down and lift the heart up. Just opening the front of heart. Breathe. Can you traction the front heel towards the back knee? Lift the heart a little higher. If you have that version, slowly release. Take your hands to prayer. Get nice and long in the spine and then twist towards your right by either hooking the left elbow or planting the left hand to the inside of the front foot, right arm up. Your version of a twist. Keep spiraling the outer right hip down as you twist. Lean the top shoulder back. Inhale back to center, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana, straight in the front leg, flex the toes towards the sky. Left thigh bone is straight up and down, so that might require wiggling the front foot forward a little bit. Hands can come to bricks here for just some nice support. Nice long spine. Exhale, bow inward. Couple deep breaths here. Now I'm going to give some yogi's choice options. If you're finding contentment, santosha here, feel free to stay. Otherwise, if full splits is in your practice and you know you want a little bit deeper, feel free to go into it. Since we're working with some hips, some arms, you might have been able to guess eagle pose is where we're going. So if you want some more action for the IT band, keep flexing your front foot, but walk your hands over to the right side of the mat on the earth or a brick. As you spin the knife edge of the foot down, squeeze the inner thighs together. That might get a little sensation in the outer seam of the right leg. And then notice what's happening in the mind, the thoughts. And if it's something that is kind of creating a little toxicity in the mind, if you're like, need to get out of this, maybe cultivate the opposite. Joy, or whatever it is for you. 1 more breath. Pivot to face the front of the mat, bend into your front leg. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then just step it forward into your forward fold. Find half lift. Exhale, bow inward. And then either reverse swan dive or roll yourself up, however you choose to get there. Last side. When we're ready, sink the hips down, graze the fingertips on the earth, reach up, Utkatasana. Exhale, fly the arms back, ribs to thighs, Ardha. Ground into your left foot, carry your right knee into the chest, one-legged Tadasana. Get nice and long here, and then twist to your right. Either grab onto the knee, right arm reaches back, or you can grab onto the pinky toe edge of your right foot, spiral the outer right hip down, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Turn your torso towards the front, lift the arms to the sky, maybe hover the leg for a little extra, and then bow forward. Lean back. We're going to meet in that star position again. Open up arms out to the side, toes out to the side. Skandasana, side lunge to your back leg. Again, any arm expression you want. So hands can be a prayer. You can crawl the hands on the earth. You can find some open arm twists. Maybe even a bind this time. If you are happy in your goddess pose, feel free to find that. All right, little change up, little curveball on this side. So once you're even on both sides, let's meet in a wide-legged forward fold. So you'll walk your hands to the center of the long edge of the mat, pivot your big toes in slightly, and then find a half lift. Let the spine get nice and long, tone the thighs up, still softness behind the knees, and then bow forward. Let the crown of the head descend down. Hands can walk in line with the feet like they're sharing a tight rope. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Couple deep breaths. I'll be here for about 7 breaths. If there's anything you want to take here, feel free to take it. Otherwise, I might offer some twists and variations to our twists. So left hand down, right arm up. Variation 1. Variation 2 is threading the top arm underneath the bottom and then crawling the left hand forward so you're gazing underneath your left armpit. That can be nice. Also finding some opening, stickiness behind the shoulder blades. Let's go ahead and switch. Come back to your center, get long in the spine, reset, and then right hand down, either left arm straight up to the sky, try to keep evenness in the sit bones, even weight in both feet, or option 2, thread, top arm under bottom, walk the right fingers forward, gaze under the right armpit, kind of like a down dog twist, but in our wide-legged fold. Even when you're here, can you draw the shoulders down the back slightly and wrap the outer armpits in? So what is that? Like turning your biceps towards the ears and up to the sky to broaden the upper back. That might give you a similar sensation. One more breath. And back to center. Find a half lift, nice long spine, and then we'll stay low to the earth, but walk our hands to the front of the mat to set up for Anjane Asana. Drop your back knee. Stay there or walk your hands up to the left thigh. Stay or reach the arms up, biceps frame the face. Maybe take your non-habitual clasp behind the back if you're doing the bind. Lift the heart. Squeeze the inner thighs together, traction the front heel towards the back knee. Stay if something sweet's happening for you here, or hands to heart. Get long in the spine, maybe come out if you're deep in the hips, come out a little bit, and then twist to your left. Hook the right elbow around the left knee. Work the thumbs towards the sternum. You can take that or ground your right hand down, left arm up. Couple breaths. And then unravel. Release the hands down, half splits, send the hips back, straighten the front leg, flex the toes to the sky. Couple breaths here. So if you were to imagine your pelvis like a bowl, it'd be pouring forward, tailbone lengthening back, and that might deepen sensation in the left hamstring. Keep a little bend in the left knee. Every inhale, spine long. Every exhale, heart melts towards toes. Shoulders soften down back. If you want to take this into full splits, feel free. Stay here, take the IT band stretch, spiral the knife edge of the left foot down, walk your hands to the left side of the mat. Couple breaths. And then come back to center. Bend into the front leg, tuck the back toes, lift the knee, step it forward, forward fold. Half lift. Exhale, bow in. Roll yourself up. So we've been working shoulders, balance, hips. Garudasana is where we're going. Bring your big toes to touch. Take your arms out to a T, and then loop your right arm underneath your left for an bear hug or eagle arms. Sink down like you're sitting into a little chair, ground into your left foot. Maybe your heel pops up. Maybe it crosses and lands on the other side or on a brick. Bring a double cross as high as possible, and sometimes that can help access double bind with the foot wrapping around the calf. But see if you can square your hips forward, lean back a little bit, and stack the shoulders over the hips. Sink down, squeeze the inner thighs together, draw the elbows up in line with the shoulders down the back. Here for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Right into the other side, arms out to a T, opposite arm loops underneath. Give it a nice little squeeze, elbows up, shoulders down, hands press away from the face. Imagine you're sitting into a little chair. Sit here, especially if balance feels like a challenge. around whatever degree you'd like. Again, squeeze inner thighs. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Sometimes that might shift. Lift the heart. Squeeze everything in for 3, 2, 1. Come on out. Notice. And then wiggle anything out you gotta wiggle out. You can take some empty coat sleeve twists, take your feet nice and wide, make fists with your hands. Just a little pressure into the chest, the kidneys. Take it side to side. And then release. Come to the top of your mat. Our last and final chair. Sink the hips low, graze the fingertips on the earth, reach up. Start to sit as low as possible, like that tiny, tiny chair you sat in kindergarten or when you were 5. And then use your core, maybe the support of your hands, to come to sit on your booty. And once you get there, release the legs long, move the fleshy parts of the sit bones aside, flex the feet. If you're noticing you're rocking onto the backs of the sit bones, this can again be a nice place to prop some support under the sit bones. And breathe here. One more little twist to play with. All right, so we'll bend both knees and let's weave the right leg underneath, kind of tuck it in for heron pose. Interlace the hands on either side of your left leg. Think more important to glue ribs to thighs than to straighten the leg. Pull the shoulders down the back, start to straighten the leg towards the sky. Maybe it stays bent, maybe it straightens, but low or thigh to rib cage, heart lifts up, shoulders soften down back. Even spiral the outer left hip down. Now you can stay right here. There's already a lot happening. Or you can take the pinky toe edge of your foot. Kind of same twist like we were doing standing, hand to big toe, except now we're on the earth. You can self-adjust by drawing your left thumb to the left hip crease. And as you do that, lift the heart so the spine gets nice and long. The crown of the head lifts up. Maybe that's where you stay. Or left hands to the earth. Or they reach back. Start to twist. Notice if your left foot is crossing over the body, and you can actually kind of try to stabilize it where it is, press it back into the hand back into the foot, and that can get the twist a little bit more into the upper back. One more breath. Slowly come back to center. Grab onto the foot and then cross it over the left, and we're going to wiggle the bottom foot forward for Agni Stambhasana double pigeon. Flex both feet, and we want our shins parallel with each other. Totally okay if there's a gap here. Sometimes people like to place a brick there. I personally like to not and kind of explore what the mobility does. Biggest thing though is we don't want our ankles to sickle. So that's why we're flexing our foot, really keeping the stability there. Ground the fingertips down, lift the heart. Now if this is too intense, you can always take this into any version of a figure 4. Head, neck rolls if you want them. Or bow in. Wind it down. Slowly lift up, release. Send the legs long in front of you to reset. There's some intensity in the outer glutes. You can give them a little tap, just kind of clearing the energy. And then other side. So we'll tuck the left heel in slightly so we can glue our right thigh to our ribs. Grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Send the leg high to the sky. Okay if there's a bend in the knee for sure, but get long in the spine. Let the heart lift. Melt the shoulders down the back. See if you can line the back of the neck with the rest of the spine. Stay, or if you want to work into the twist, grab onto the pinky toe edge of your right foot. See if you can keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. Maybe self-adjust with your right thumb into the hip crease again. Walk your right fingers back. Start to rotate, press hand into foot, foot back into hand. That will just shift perhaps where you feel the twist, though every body is different, so feel into your own. And then reach your right arm back, thumb to sky. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose, or double pigeon. So flex both heels, stack the shins in one line. And again, you might have to wiggle the bottom foot forward a bit to get the shins a little more parallel with one another. Notice if there's clenching in the teeth, gripping in the jaw, or any other muscles. See if you can relax the neck. If the head circles, semicircles, little crescent moons were helpful, feel free to take that, or you can even do some lion's breath here, sticking out the tongue, which will really stretch the jaw, help release some tension in the neck and the hips. It's all interconnected. If you're new to lion's breath, you'll stick out the tongue and it'll come as far down to the heart as possible. And if you want to add some eye stretching, really good for the vagus nerve, as well as connecting with third eye, our intuition, you'd send your gaze up towards third eye. Feel free to give it a try, or if you're ready to bow forward, bring it inward, please do. One more breath. And come on up. Send the legs nice and long, move slowly. Deep hip opening. Stay or start to give a little bit of a tap. You can actually take this tap all the way down the outside of the legs to the inside, maybe even a little bit into the groin or the pinky side of the arm. Good for like some lymph clearing. Let's take our final fold. Get nice and tall. Exhale, bow inward. You can grab sides of feet. If you got a lot of depth there, you can bind for a wrist, or you can just soften the arms on either side. Keep the heart open as you fold inward. Little tuck of the chin. 2 more breaths, using the breath as a pathway into deeper presence and focus, just being with what is in sensation as you wind down your practice. Slowly rise up. And then let yourself come all the way onto your back. We did a lot of folding in practice, so before we enter into our final resting, 1 bridge pose. Walk the feet close to the sits bones. Have the shin bones straight up and down, arms on either side, and you might even wiggle the shoulders underneath you, feet parallel. When you're ready, press into the feet, lift the hips, lift the heart. You might even interlace the hands behind the back. Keep pressing into the inseam of the feet. Imagine you're squeezing a block between the thighs and then lengthen the tailbone forward. Lift the hips an inch higher. Lift the heart. Lift the chin away from the heart. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And check in if there's anything else you need in your practice. Maybe it's a happy baby with the feet nice and wide, or 1 more twist, like a spinal twist. Take the next 5 or so breaths to give you what you need. Take it into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees butterfly out. Anything else? Now I am going to leave you in your final resting pose, your Shavasana. So just be mindful of how long you want to rest in this place of integration, and feel free to take yourself out whenever you're ready. As you're ready to enter, give yourself a final big squeeze of gratitude, of care, of your practice of pratipaksha bhavana, cultivating the opposite, and then let it all go. Shavasana. Legs long, arms on either side, palms face up, allowing for your integration.